Hi, so I'm currently sitting on a window seat. This was apparently the royal family's seating place. This is where they hung out. Nice and cool, under a portico, nice view, peaceful. It's pretty cool. There are these little insects. Absolutely everywhere, just hanging out. Goodness. Yeah. Right, so obviously I want to be a little bit circumspect here about ritual, religion and the rest. But just there is the holiest of holies, I would say. And I'm not certain if it accounts to actual animal sacrifice. But there is a guy there who is handing out goats' heads to anyone outside the window. Because this is a Hindu temple, because it's a holy day, you leave your shoes at a shoe area. And the soles of my feet are covered in blood. I mean, oh my God. That was a particularly large goat's head just being chucked out of said window. But there are a lot of animals who have been killed today. I imagine, of course, that the goat meat is part of a food ceremony of some kind. I'm going to have to do some research on that, because that I did not find, because again, I've arrived on a holy weekend. This here is a very nice place to hang out. I've had my apple pie. I've got the rest of my tea and a few other snacks and bits and pieces. And I'm going to kind of do a round robin around the whole place. Everyone is amused and bemused by my presence. I've been asked 100 times where I'm from, how long I've been here, how long I'm going to be here, the usual. Had one hilarious encounter with some tiny, absolutely tiny, I'm going to guess octogenarian lady who came up to about my breastbone, so call it 4'10", and she kind of stopped, and she was incredibly wrinkly, looked me up and down, turned around about face and said something very loud to her friends, who all cackled with laughter. I'm assuming it had something to do with size, but yeah. Those goat heads are just, literally, it's raining goat heads over there. I'm not even kidding, man. I suppose anyone who wants to can take them home for a stew and stock and the rest. Yeah. So this is the northernmost side, which is just literally the view from where I'm sitting. And over there, it's a bit of a hazy day, but over there lies the Annapurna Massif, and it's a bit hazy today. But Annapurna 1 is just over there. Well, not just over there, a few hundred clicks over there. Annapurna 1 is the 10th highest mountain in the world, at least above sea level. I'll see that soon. I'm trying to figure out which one in the very, very far distance it might be, ways north. But yeah. So there are a few cops on ceremonial duty with old school rifles. Hi. Yeah, that's great.
Amar Dai. Amar Dai. Amar Dai. Amar Dai. Oh, Amar Dai. What's up? Amar Dai.
That was the guy I was talking about. Hold on a second. Since he's on ceremonial duty, I don't think he'd mind my recording him ever so briefly. But he's in rather old school gear with a musket, or at least an early rifle. Very old, well cared for, with a bayonet on his belt. That it was actually attached when I passed him further up, and a very nice kukri in his belt. And he came walking up, and there's a little door there, a very old door that says police office, and he's got a goat head in a bag. And he kind of walks up and looks at the locked door, and I think the implication was, why is the door locked? I have to put my goat head somewhere safe. And comes over here and yells at his friend who's down there to come and open it. Anyway, so a touch of history. Gorkha Palace was built in the late 17th century. It's actually quite an impressive example of Newari architecture mixed in heavily with strong, sound, common sense military fortification, because we're on top of a Himalayan mountain, of course. But it is very, very strong. The exterior walls, and they go down in terraces. So, grandmother broom, you know how it goes. It was the birthplace of Prithvi Narayan Shah, who was the king. In 1723, he was born here, when the royal family lived here full time, of course. And it was he that started the unification of Nepal. And it all started here. And his birth and his works, as it were, are commemorated in this place every year for that reason. In addition to the palace itself, this being a Hindu place, it has many, 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 many temples and a couple of large ones. The Gorakhnath temple is just across the way. Gorakhnath was a monk and a student of very highly regarded teachers, a sage, and for whom the area and the town is named. So Gorakhnath, Gorkha, Gorkha. This is all linked together. There's Gorakhnath Cave that I'm going to go to in a bit. I'm just relaxing right now. There's a long climb up here. I've had some tea, I've had my apple pie. But there's quite a cool cave just underneath. There are two. There's Gorakhnath Cave, and there's another small cave that legend tells that the monk himself meditated Tantra. I'm going to have to research that, because Tantra has a strong sexual element to it, so who knows? Hope he had some cushions, but I'll get there. This is lovely. I mean, look at it. Totally worth the climb. एकदम ठीक Right, so I did make it to the cave. It's actually part of the complex directly below the palace, which could be a reason why, a partial reason why it was built here, of course. But it was because it's a ceremony day. There were a lot of people, and I didn't want to get into the mix because I'm just a peripheral guy, and these people are here for a ceremony, for a holy day. It was pretty cool. A good time. Yeah. Now I am walking down the 17,500 steps, and as always, fight the tendency to stomp. Down on the ball of your foot and lower yourself down gently, otherwise you'll pay for it later. Be kind to your knees. You'll miss them where they're gone. One last parting point. It occurred to me on my way up, these small rectangular holes, openings in the walls. Oh, look, a monkey. And at the time I was fairly shagged, to be honest with you, but it did occur to me at the time as to what they might be. They're not gun ports. I don't think they're for ventilation because the hill is massive and there's nothing there. I would imagine they're for drainage. So when it rains hard, and it rains hard, and the water seeps through, have little mini fountains all the way along, draining the hill itself. That's my guess, anyway. Right, so I'm back. I'm on the roof of my hotel, kind of sitting at the top of the fire escape stairs and watching the world go by. It's quite fun, actually. No one knows I'm here. It's not quite Batman, you understand, but it's still pretty cool. I am shagged. That was a mission and a half. Worth it, though. I mean, I did climb a Himalayan mountain today, so there is that. And those boots, my brother Mark managed to procure for me a really good pair of military grade walking boots. They are epic, absolutely amazing. My feet don't hurt, my knees and my hips, there. As I said earlier, I'm going to slather myself with Tiger Balm later on. And speaking of Mark, his daughter, my niece, Miss Robin Collins Cooper, a massive shout out to her. I love you, Bobcat. But yes, so I'm going to settle in for the evening. I didn't actually end up having the cigar because it was a little too busy at the top. This being a holy day, I don't want to offend anyone or just look like a monumental arsehole. These things are better done in private in this kind of environment. So I'm going to come up here later on with a little bit of port and have a cigar and port at sunset. And that's me done for the day. Yeah. Okay, so I just figured out why the vegetable pakora and onion bhaji are relatively expensive in this place, because the side dish is a meal in and of itself. Not a bad spot for dinner.
Because if they know that what's in their womb.
So like I say, friends, no word of a lie. With lightning in the sky, it is 9:20 in the evening. And you could hear a pin drop. All I can hear is the fan behind me, cicadas, and the occasional barking dog. And there is lightning in the sky. I hope you're smiling.